with some rules about our chat. You probably know this, but please remain muted, camera on or off as you wish. It's always nice to see people, but totally get it if you decide not to. You use the chat for questions, or you just raise your digital hand for questions. My session is going to be recorded. So this is being recorded, and my presentation is going to be recorded for those who missed today's, but the Q&A, it will not. So bear that in mind. I just want you to really raise concerns, raise things that for you are important, and don't worry, it won't be recorded. It will only share the part where I start with the presentation on AI. So of course, no, this is a touchy subject, because we're going to really there are a lot of issues here. If you're a creative, if you're a creator, maybe you are really upset about this technology because you consider it's stealing your work, or if you are very mindful about privacy, you will also be upset about this technology, and that can be in contrast with someone who is very, like myself, it's very optimist, and we see more good things than bad things, and sometimes it can create a tension. So let's make sure that we respect everyone, that we understand where everyone is coming, and that we create a safe and respectful space today. Okay. And the last thing, all the images you will see are AI generated. So it's just one of the things that I always do. If I do something with AI, I will proudly say, and I will also be transparent about it, knowing full well what are the consequences of doing just that. Okay. All right. So you introduce yourself, but you need to know a little bit about me. I work in the intersection of advocacy, politics, and technology. It hasn't always been that way. I started working in investment banking, in the intersection of investment banking and technology, helping banks make more money using technology, right? And that was all fine. I think I did my time. I worked in the City of London with some of the major investment banks. Been there, done that. My usual work was to actually use a component of AI, machine learning, to help investment banks predict and price more accurately complex products. Okay, everyone understands if the price of a stock goes up or down, but what about complex structured products that have a lot of things inside? Think about the mortgage-backed securities that caused the 2008 financial crisis. So all these complex products, banks were using. I was working with technology firms that were able to accurately predict where the price was going and automate certain tasks. And usually when we started working in an investment bank, say UBS, Goldman Sachs, Lehman Brothers, Morgan Stanley, Barclays, usually we started with a team of probably 60 to 80 traders on the trading floor doing interest rates. By the end of the project, there were maybe 2 or 3. Why? Because we were able not only to replace a lot of the jobs with technology, also with with aspects of artificial intelligence, but machines coming and automating repetitive work is nothing new. Don't worry about these bankers. They are fine. They were either relocated to do other middle office, back office functions instead of front office, or they found themselves a way out, and they are fine. Other people won't be so privileged to be able to change their job when this technology comes. So this is also why we need to be one of the reasons we are here, to understand the impact. And the impact can be that it can make us change the way we work, lose our jobs, or just we need to retrain massively. So that's the left-hand side of the screen. That's me in the city. I did wear this type of suits. Maybe the suitcase is a bit too big, but that was an accurate depiction of me. Then came Brexit, and I said, what am I doing with my life? The bad guys are using technology way better. People think that Brexit, the referendum went to leave because there was so much disinformation and all the promises about the. I mean, tell me one election campaign in the history that where there were no lies about or over promises about what the candidates were going to do. The guys won, the Brexiteers won the campaign because they used better technology to target, to do digital advertising. They were better at messaging. They were better at polling. They were better at volunteer management. I was part of the campaign for the EU to remain the European Union. To remain in the European Union, I was a disaster. And that's why you lose a campaign like this, because your adversary is outsmarting you, not because one guy says that he's going to spend, I don't know how many millions on the NHS. Okay. So campaigns are more complicated than that. And when you win a campaign, it's because you've done consistently, you've been better at everything consistently than your adversary. And I think that's what happened. So I said, enough, I'm going to spend my time helping pro-Europeans, helping the good guys, win campaigns, adopt technology. And since then, I've been working, I ran the European elections campaign in 2019, the one that got more people, especially young people, out to vote. I worked inside the European Parliament with pro-European political parties. Now I work with pro-European movements. And I definitely don't, I have that hoodie, but I definitely don't wear that jacket with the stamped flower. So that's AI was not great at depicting me on my new life. But that's just about me. What about the playbook? Because of my story of not like coming from banking to communications, I did not know. I'm not a communicator by training. I'm not a communications by training. So I had to set up something that helped me connect with people that I didn't know before, but that also helped me learn things, helped me connect, helped me catch up with all my training, everything that I needed to do. I had the passion to do things, but I didn't have the knowledge. And so I created like this loosely community that at the end of the day, what we want to do is to learn in an affordable way, in a tailored way, because I started to do a lot of trainings that were not speaking to me in any capacity, in any way. And also connecting in a way that I collaborate with someone, and maybe there is a connection and we can do something else together later. So that's the whole thing about the European campaign playbook. It's that space to do all these three things. We started with the bubble, with the pandemic, doing online things like this one. But now what we have is a much more structured approach. We do every week, we have a lunch and learn. And that's my British background, at least my experience working in the Anglo-Saxon countries, where you have these brown bags, lunch and learns type of events. And so what we do is at the beginning of each month, we vote for a topic that we're going to be focusing on. And then every Friday, me together with a small team, we curate content. We bring speakers, we create learning materials. And the idea is that at the end of the month, everyone has got better at whatever the topic is. This month, we are doing understanding public opinion. And so we had amazing chats with people running the global attitude surveys, with the dean of Bocconi University in Milan, talking about political fragmentation, how to understand why certain people have certain attitudes towards democracy, immigration. It was fascinating to be in that room and actually having access to those people who agreed to come with us, just because we are a group of nice people wanting to do something a little bit differently. Then we have the tailored training, like the one on AI, but we also have many other tailored trainings, and they are like really practical. It's not me speaking, even though I speak a lot, I have to admit. But we want to do more. We want to do boot camps in person, in Brussels mostly, but we want to do more things outside of Brussels as we grow. And we do a lot of fun, a lot of networking. We have a lot of events, mostly again in Brussels, but now the second biggest block of people are actually from outside of Brussels. Especially, we have a big community in Rome, and actually we have a platform where everyone has access. It's like a LinkedIn without the cringe, I call it. And in that platform, here you can find all the learning materials, recording materials, whatnot. And then in this platform, you can even connect directly with people based on whether they are near you, whether they are in the same industry. Everyone has their profile, where they are based, and there are a lot of engagement happening in the platform. So, and that's how we want to connect in person, but also there is a digital space for us to connect. So that's about us: learning, having fun, networking, mostly in Brussels, but increasingly outside of Brussels. About this training, and I'm wrapping up. We are having the last session next week. It's Thursday. After that, like I say, like Boris Johnson said, hasta la vista, baby. I'm off for a break. But if you are a student who is studying EU affairs, communications, political science, I think it's great. I think it's a really good. If you're already working in advocacy, campaigns, communications, it's 100% for you. It's going to have practical effects. And or you're just curious about this, it's actually this course is for you, because we're gonna take over the like 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. with a break in the middle, so it's quite relaxed. We're gonna have the time to also collectively think and reflect, but we're gonna cover the basics. We are going to learn how to prompt with ChatGPT, but any other, like Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, you name it. It's going to be what we teach is applicable to any tool. That's the beauty also of this technology. And we're gonna create images, video, and then all that using a framework, a very simple framework, because one of the key messages is that this technology cannot help you if you don't know where you're going, and so you need a framework to operate. And if you have this clear, then this technology will really help you. This is our framework. So we will try to launch a campaign answering the typical journalistic questions, and then at the end you have a campaign ready to go. And now the uncomfortable conversation, which is about, okay, so how much does it cost? I love doing trainings, but I also don't want to live under a bridge. So this is not really all we do about this is to make sure we cover the cost of a community manager and the licenses for the platform, for the Zoom, and all these small things. So it's not that I am intending to make this a whole thing, but at least we have this way to make it sustainable. And the course alone is 99 euros. You just go, book the course, get the course, and that's it. You don't hear more about us, or at least, or you are part of the Campaign Pro experience. Here there is a typo that comes from for this, just to make sure that we are not, this is from the previous presentation. So you book your seat for 11th of July, and that's it. You don't need to worry about anything else. Now, what's the cool thing is the Campaign Pro experience. That gives you the access to this workshop plus 1 year where you are going to attend the weekly lunch and learns. If they are in person in the city where you live, mostly Brussels, I'm not gonna lie, then you can come, but also we have things online, access to everything, right? That starts at 10 euros a month for students. But actually if you are a student, it's 10 euros a month or a yearly payment. If you are below 30 years old, is 15 euros, and the standard one is 20 euros. If you are unemployed, you are like switching jobs, and you would need some help, then it's free. So you just reach out to us and we will include you in this community for free, because we've all been there, and you know, we can use we can all use an extra help. Okay. And that's about that. Okay, that's about that. That's about our session. We're gonna spend it's gonna be like 4 hours together next week. So it's gonna be a complete like experience. You're gonna be talking a lot. You're going to be drafting your own campaign, and I will make sure that by the end of the session, you have a campaign, or you have what it looks like at the beginning of a campaign. But we decided to do a fast-paced demo today. So there will be things that we will have to put aside and say that we don't have enough time today, but I usually when we do this, it's more than enough. Okay. All right. So if I ask you to give yourself a rating from 1 to 5, where 1 is I don't even know what am I doing here. I just found this link on LinkedIn and joined. 2, 5, which is I am pretty pro on AI. Where would you find yourself? Please write it on the chat. I'm going to give myself, for example, a 4. 1, 2. I have a fellow 4. Some people give themselves 2.5. People love but here we have round numbers, nice round numbers. Okay, 2, 3, perfect. Without this being a statistic from but the usual participant in our workshops are I would say it's a 2.5 strong 3. So it's like it's around the 3 plus minus 0.5. So that's the type of people that we bring, and that they actually take they also report that that it was useful for them. So the audience today is going to be very diverse, but at the end of the whole thing, I'm going to bring everyone with me. Okay, so no one's going to be left behind. No one's going to feel lost. Some people will find at some point that it's too basic, but even the things that are too basic, I'm going to be sharing stories, experiences. And actually, if you say something, for example, we have today Philip, who has worked in the actual AI Act, then feel free to come and say, hey, I think you are not considering this, or I think this is also important. The whole thing is that this group learns by the end of the session. Okay. All right. So especially for those who say 1 and 2, really quickly, I'm going to explain what is AI, especially why we need to care so much about the impact in our work. Okay. You have probably seen this. This is I can play it in the background, but this is pretty much the latest version. It's not available yet in the market of the artificial intelligence voice assistant or ChatGPT that is now going to include things like not only text, and not only that you write a post on LinkedIn to me, but also that assistant will be able to look at you, look at the video, and react to what's happening in the video. And that is quite awesome. Like if you say, for example, you will hear the bot even getting humor and getting and being sarcastic and even being a bit filtery with the user. Let's hear that out just one sec.
I'm all ears. Well, in a few minutes, I'm going to be interviewing at OpenAI. Have you heard of them? OpenAI? Huh? Sounds vaguely familiar. Kidding, of course. That's incredible, Rocky. What kind of interview? Well, it's for a software engineering role, but I just need to know, do I look presentable, professional? Well, Rocky, you definitely have the I've been coding.
I would really recommend that you watch this video. I mean, even if this assistant talks to me in this way, I think my girlfriend would be very jealous because it's a smile. It's a really getting it's getting more human, right? And that is amazing to see. It's not yet available, but it's amazing to see that this is where we are heading. Of course, let me go back here. Of course, this is the interesting part, and this is a tightly controlled demo by OpenAI. So, but it's amazing that they can even do this. And in a tightly controlled, it means that in a few weeks or months, this is going to be part of our lives, and now we're going to be thinking about the next big thing. And there are a lot of bad things we can talk about. The job losses, massive. I've seen them myself. This is going to if automation was already making a dent, this is going to be, especially for some people, it's going to be devastating. And some people, it's going to accelerate that it was going to happen, but then it's going to happen decades earlier. So if you are not in a position to retrain yourself, you don't have the resources, you don't have the network, the safety net, then it's going to be problematic. That's why I also see many people in the tech industry, including the big tech billionaires who could put their money where their mouth is, and maybe set up some universal basic income schemes at a bigger scale, everything that they are, or simply paying their taxes. I think that would be nice, but I think this is gonna shape dramatically how we think about work, how we think about supporting people outside of work. A lot of this information, some people doing things in a more ethical way, like this image of Massa, the presidential candidate for Argentina who lost. At least he was being transparent about generative AI, and not with great results, unfortunately. Also, you see a lot of images like this one, where Alternative for Germany used images of immigrants, refugees, and they made them look like scary. Of course, you can see that there is something off, and that picture is already quite old. So now this technology is able to create better pictures. And the thing is, the AFD was like racist and neo-Nazi groups have existed before this technology. What this technology is going to give them is the ability to do much more harm, much more quickly, way more at a volume, at the scale that we haven't seen before. So that is serious. But let's, we're the good guys, we're the ethical guys. We're gonna look at how we can do this ethically and in an efficient way. In order to do that, and before we actually dive in, there are other risks that some people have said AI is gonna mean the end of humanity as we know it. Those are valid concerns. I think researchers on AI that were asked to put a probability on whether their work could result in the end of humanity, I think they said 1 or 2 or 3%. I don't remember exactly how much. Those are wild. I wouldn't take that bet. 3% that your work ends humanity as we know it. It's pretty high. But that is mostly related to what people call general AI. no one knows really what it is. It's a very, yeah, it's a system that can outperform us in everything we do, make decisions for us in all sorts of ways. Well, there are a lot of things that you should consider. For example, is there enough energy to sustain this type of system on Earth? Probably not. Probably, I mean, these systems, these machines need a lot of energy to process the information, to keep the servers cool. And so maybe that's why Elon Musk is going to explore other planets to start bringing more materials from other planets. But it's really, and also, is it efficient? I mean, those of you who have kids will know and will have experienced firsthand how easy the human, especially the kids who learn more than one language from the very beginning. And humans were able to learn languages and learn the stuff in a way more efficient way than machines do. A machine, in order to learn a language at a very basic level, has consumed an immense amount of data. My kid was able to catch up French after a couple of months going to the crèche, to the so it's really so. Is it really efficient that machines do certain things for us? Maybe humans can do this more efficiently in terms of money, energy, etc. Now we live in a rush where everyone is investing resources and going to AI because everyone wants to find the next big thing. But questions about, is this efficient, remain there, okay? And let's not lose that perspective that probably this general AI thing might actually not materialize. But narrow AI, oh my dear, like this is where the crazy stuff is. This is where things that were designed for one thing and one thing only will get better at it at an exponential level. And humans, we are really bad at thinking exponentially. We think on a linear basis. We grow our careers over 10, 20, 30 years, and we see a linear progression in our careers. We see our kids growing up linearly, but exponentially is something that we quite don't get it as humans. But these machines will do it. So that means that whatever you have seen in the last 2 years or year and a half since ChatGPT was launched, it's nuts as to what we're gonna see after the summer. Because these machines, once they have achieved something, they will go to the next thing in a fraction of the time, delivering even more amazing results. So this is narrow AI. People call it weak AI, generative AI. Is everywhere. Is going to get better, but at doing the thing that they were intended to do and nothing else. Okay. And in that context, is where we have generative AI. Okay. For someone asked if you're gonna get the slides. Yes, you're getting the slides, and you're gonna get the presentation as well. When we say generative AI, it's very important for our work as communication advocacy professionals to know exactly what we mean and what is the problem. What are the considerations of this technology? Okay, and in order to do that, we're going to go and see exactly what it sits. Okay. If we talk about AI, AI is really anything that we are trying to do to make computers think and learn like humans. That's the broadest definition you can think of, okay? Humans can predict the weather. AI can learn how to predict the weather. Humans drive cars. AI, as a broad concept, can help in driving cars. What is amazing about AI is a component which is called machine learning. And that is that now, before, let's say, what we know about our computers is if you execute a certain command, one after the other, and then you get an error, no matter how many times you do it, you're gonna get to the same error. So when I click on this file, I click on import, and I choose this format, I get this error. And you can do this 100 times. You report it to your IT department, they fix it, and that's it. Machine learning is a little bit like saying, your computer has an error. Your computer is designed to make sure you don't get errors when you are using your computer, and without any IT department, your computer is gonna try to figure out why this error happened, try to fix it, offer you that the next time you follow this command, tries to offer you an alternative solution. If it results positively, great. If not, it's gonna go back and learn what happened and propose you another solution. All that until they achieve a broader goal. Netflix does this. Netflix, of course, they are pushing Bridgestone like crazy, but Netflix, what it does is it looks at you, your past behavior, where your location, and the movies that you've watched before, and it's going to propose a movie or a series for you to watch. If you watch it, great, success, keep doing whatever you're doing. If you didn't watch it, what went wrong? Let me figure out another way to keep you watching movies on Netflix. This is a binary system. You either watch the movie or you don't watch the movie. In my work as investment banking, it was binary. We were predicting this product was going to increase the value. And so if it increased the value, good. If the value remained equal or decreased, it was bad. And the machine was configured to make sure to find out what happened in the market that allowed that prediction to go wrong. And we were just watching. Of course, there were some people coding, but we were watching, and we were also measuring the time that it took for these machines to come out. That's speed is one of the things that machines learn very fast. They are able to do all these very, very fast. But of course, life is not binary. It's not you watch the movie or not. That's where deep learning comes in. Deep learning is machine learning on steroids. This is, you've probably heard about neuronal networks and all these really fascinating words. But here, really, what you are trying to do is moving from a binary option to a really complex web of options that try to emulate how our brain works. There are different layers, and this that allows the technology to check more than one thing and to propose output based on a way more complex set of data. Think about driving a car. It's not about killing or not killing someone whilst you're driving. This is not the binary choice. The choice is, okay, I am entering into a area with a school traffic sign, so I know I need to slow down, but I also need to activate the sensors in case I see an object like a ball crossing the street, because chances are that after the ball there is a kid running after the ball. And so all these are way more complex. If there is bad weather, I recognize there is bad weather, so I need to look for other obstacles, other things that can happen. This technology is really good at predicting the future and making all these prediction, as long as the immediate future looks like all the data in the past. So, for example, if I can predict the weather, but if there is due to climate change, there is an abnormal or extraordinary weather event, AI won't be able to predict it. It's really bad. If there is a turbulence in the market, the traders had a button to stop the machine, because the machines, the moment there is something unpredictable, these machines, even the deep learning ones, they are really bad. That's why the cars keep hitting people on the road, because it's just, it's just really, really difficult for them to react to something that they haven't been trained on. And that's where the training comes. And now, I said training a couple of times. And here's where generative AI comes from, because generative AI takes everything that I've said before and then adds one element, which is I am able to create new content. So I'm not able only to drive a car, but I'm now able to produce any content, text, voice, video, images, I'm not saying original content. I'm saying new, something new. Maybe it's not original because it was stolen, or it copied very cleverly someone else's work. But definitely it's new content that you get that you didn't have before, and yeah, and it's able to learn how to produce that content using all these neuronal networks, using all this power, and it's getting, and that's where we have ChatGPT, Gemini, etc. So it's the ability of these machines to produce new content based on the training data. So that means, and I'm simplifying, I feed these machines with hundreds of millions of pictures of cats and dogs and chicken, and then I say to them, this is a cat, this is a chicken, this is a dog, and after millions, like it's the scale is amazing. Like after millions of data points that I give, this system is able, after a long training, to say, okay, this is a dog, this is a cat, this is a chicken. Again, my kid could say that in 2 minutes, but these machines really need a lot of data, training, resources to be able to make simple things that like human do. But once they've learned that, the growth is exponential. Now they will be able to create videos of cats. They will be able to create different type of cats. And that is going to happen once they learn. The next step is going to happen at an exponential level in terms of quality and the time. But in order for them to get them to train the system, it's it's gonna be forever. It takes a lot of time. Last thing before we start with the actual exercise with the 10 prompts is, you've probably heard about large language models. Large language models is if you substitute this system that is able to create cats based on images of cats. These systems, large language models, are systems that have been, you have trained the machine with literally everything that has ever been produced by humans, both offline and online, probably offline. I think they bought like the major content ever produced, from Shakespeare to Harry Potter. They bought all that. They probably stole some of it. They took all the information available on the internet about think about forums, think about websites selling shoes, everything. Think about your conversations on Facebook. They did take that. So when you were discussing politics on Facebook back in 2000 something, all this information has been used to train these models on how humans speak. And now they're able to respond to us in a humanly way. And this is a concern because they are really good at speaking to us as humans. And that does not mean that they are telling us the truth. It only means that they are giving us some information based on what they have learned in a very conversational, persuasive way. So that is where the danger is, that you think that you actually, in your psyche, you think that you're talking to a human and that everything that human is telling you is correct, but actually there are a lot of problems on the data on which these machines have been trained. Which is why you need to know how something called prompt engineering. They put engineering to scare everyone off. But prompt engineering is learning how to talk to the systems like you're talking to a human. How to talk to them in a way that you can extract a lot of information. Of course, the best way to extract information from them is to talk to them as they have been trained, which is using human language, like just talking to them like you would talk to another human. That is the real. Everything else is, there's a lot of buzz, but it all comes down, especially for us, to that simple principle. And that's where we're gonna start we're gonna start for the next 10-15 minutes. I will take some time extra if you allow me. to do the training, because now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the intersection of generative AI and large language models to use ChatGPT and to do an exercise. Those are my three key principles before I move to the exercise. We are in control. You cannot outsource your whatever social media content, anything that you think it's you cannot delegate. It can help you, and you always need to check the output and think of this as productivity. Okay, this is a productivity tool, definitely. So let's start with this exercise. All right, I need now a volunteer to join me in this journey. Who is still with us and who wants to give it a try and see something probably that amazes you, or maybe not. Let's see. Who wants to volunteer? Patricia, would you like to volunteer?
I mean, I can try.
Okay.
Not
perfect.
sure if I can, but sure.
All right. So, Patricia, congratulations. You have a new comms officer joining your team. She looks like this. It's a little bit scary, but she's nice. I promise you, she's really nice. It's only that she's stupid at understanding you. It's like really, like you need to talk to her like she's really dumb, okay? But at the same time, if you talk to her in the right way, you are going to be, you have the best team member in the group, but she needs you. She really needs you, okay? And that's why I'm putting emphasis on this for what's about to come, okay? The first thing is we are going to open ChatGPT. You have you can also do this on your own, okay? I'm going also to share some prompts, and you will be able to do this yourself, okay? So you just go to ChatGPT. Even the free version should be fine, okay? You just get, you get your account. I'm gonna use this one today, and you can create a free account. Creating an account is free, and the first thing you're going to do, you're gonna make sure that whenever you have this open, you are gonna make sure that you have this model where it says GPT-4o. And this is like, even in the free version, I think you cannot choose, but I think it is using 4o.
For some tasks, they're limited number of, I think, requests. Yeah.
Exactly. But it should be fine for these 10 prompts. It should be fine. Okay, Patricia? And we're going to be using my screen.
Sure.
So those, by the way, the best 20 euros that I pay. Like every time that I see the 20 euros next to my gym membership, I was like, okay, those 20 euros, great. The gym membership, not so great. But anyway, then we select ChatGPT, and then those are, let me share with you the prompts, okay? We're gonna be changing the prompts as we go in case you need, and those are the actual 10 prompts, okay? The first thing that people do when they start with ChatGPT is they say, oh, I need to write a LinkedIn post. So I just go and say, write a LinkedIn post about artificial intelligence. And then, of course, this in a minute, in a second, you have this. I say, oh, this is great. So I'm going to just copy, and I'm going to go to my LinkedIn, and I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to paste it. Big mistake. So if you do this, if you already do this, and if there is one thing you need to take out from today is don't do this. Please don't do this, okay? I know it's exciting. I know you are all very busy, but it's just a shame that you have one of the most powerful tool at your fingerprints and you do it like this, okay? So instead, what we are going to do is we're going to give Patricia, that person, a role, a task, a goal, some context, some constraints, and we're going to ask them to do things step by step, specifically in 10 steps, okay? And we're going to give that person feedback, okay? Just as you would do with a junior communication officer who joins your organization. The first thing that I need, Patricia, is the name of your organization.
The European Multiple Sclerosis Platform, EMSP for short. Yeah.
Multiple sclerosis.
Yes, this is the one.
Oh, and you are spending money on Google Ads. Good.
Apparently.
Yeah. Good. Perfect. So I'm going to take this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste this in the chat in a minute. Where is my chat? Here. I'm going to open a new one, and I'm going to start with this. You are a communication officer at this organization. I don't know. I can even put the website. They will know, especially the free version. Okay. If not, I can say, I can write the name here. I can write European Multiple Sclerosis Platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I do like this. Our job is to create an advocacy campaign from scratch that communicates the core values of your organization. But of course, first thing first, no? Let's get this person to know a little bit more about your organization. Usually this person would take weeks to be trained on this. I just copied the prompt in the chat. But this new person, in a matter of seconds, is going to go online. If you have the paid version, if you have the free version, then you have to face the cutoff, which is somewhere in 2021. But still, there are ways you can, for example, take copy and paste things from your website and give it to her. Another thing that you won't be able to do with the free version is the actual web search one. And so thanks to that, I know that you had a conference in Brussels on 19th to 20th.
Yes.
Perfect. This is great. I also do this, just my media monitoring. Before, we used to pay a company.
Nice. Yeah.
Now I get media mentions and media monitoring every morning, automated with ChatGPT.
And this is not the free version. It has to be the paid, right? So that they can have access to the specific, updates.
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, the good thing about this is that, and why I like this, because I always ask them for the source, because even if you see this here, you need to check the dates, okay? You need to check the date. You need to, okay, April 19, is it okay? Check the dates, because these tools, they will hallucinate. They won't give you dates because the dates are accurate. They will give you dates because based on all this information, the day April 19, the 20th, is the one that is more likely to generate a good outcome, a positive response.
Do you prompt them to, like, do you prompt ChatGPT to give you the source, sorry? Like this in parentheses.
Yeah, for example, in the last part of the prompt, I say the latest.
Okay.
Sometimes, that's a good point. If I am missing, if I don't have this, I actually ask. I say, can you give me, thank you. You don't want these machines to be mad at you.
Oh, of course, I do that.
Thank you. Can you please give me more media mentions from European media outlets? Please include the link. Okay, remember that this chat is this comms officer, unless you ask for something, you are not getting it. So these chats, they don't have common sense. They really don't. And so you have to provide that common sense directly. So, all right, so I can see one media mention here. Perfect. It looks like a trade, one specific for your industry, and it keeps giving me your website. You see how that, but if you want more, Like for example, I say, I need a media mention from the BBC, from the New York Times, from, like I have to say these things, otherwise this chat is gonna come and give me a random or something that I don't need. But if you ask, and this is why I'm coming back to this, if you ask for a task, you give some constraints, you say, I want this in a specific format, we will see this in a minute, then it's amazing how these chats can give you useful information. Google says that this is a good anatomy of a prompt. I say, don't go crazy. I say, really don't think that you need to check all the boxes all the time. Just make sure that you are ticking as many as you can as you go, okay? All right, so next one, we're gonna do a little bit of a research about your organization, okay? And in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a PDF that you have from your latest. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna take a report, and I'm gonna take your annual report, because I'm pretty sure that this annual report has a lot of interesting information. And I come here and I say, please read this annual report. Okay, let's go back to my prompt, and then do a summary. Okay, good job. Let's do more research on our organization. Summarize the following document or the attached document. Please display the information in the form of an executive summary with bullet points separated by section.
And again,
I need to send this to my boss. Okay. So
the fact that you were able to upload it is just because it's the paid version.
Exactly.
Cool.
Alternatively, you there are ways I will explain to you in the course if you join how to do workarounds. Okay. But again, yeah, for these 20 euros, you also are going to be able to generate messages, images. It's just good money spent on this. Now you have such a committed comms officer that is going to say, I'm going to give you not one, but two responses, and you let me know which one you like the most, okay? So here, in just a second, you have a summary of a long document in a way that you can send this to your boss with bullet points. I will never read PDF in full, okay? I'm gonna go for response one. Always give feedback, okay? Always say, this is good, this is bad. One thing that I did not know about your organization is whether you work with, whether you work in Spain. You have done something in Spain. So I'm gonna ask, thank you. Does this report include any mention to Spain? And if so, which mention is it? And I will spend the next, whatever I want to find out about a long PDF document, I simply ask my comms officer. You know, I don't have time to read this report. Please summarize to me what it says about this. And unfortunately, you are not talking about Spain in that document. Let's say, okay, what about the, for example, what about people from, what about, let's say, okay, do you mention, does this report mention AI? I don't know, maybe it doesn't. Okay, so I could go on and on, and this multiple times. Okay, okay. Give me a summary of what this says about AI.
How we do in the EU projects. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Always double check. because it can, but when you give them a PDF, it's pretty strong. Okay, it's pretty, you know, it's chances that you get it grown are low. All right. And then you can go on and on. It can do your stakeholder mapping with the third prompt. It can help you. And in the course, we're gonna define target audiences. We're gonna talk about biases, about the fact that if you ask these chats to create an image of a woman who is doing an internship, these systems are going to give you sexualized versions of women. Why? Because, and here's a few trials, because this data has been fed with the biggest source of images of women on the internet is images that Western white old men consume in terms of pornographic images. Okay, so that's what it is. So the second biggest subset after Western adult white porn is fashion. So of course these systems understand women as this. You ask, they wear male outfits, so they wear tie. They wear a tie. They were, when you ask for a minority, you still get, look at the lips, look at the cheeks, look at the curves, slim figures, and an unbuttoned shirt. Look at the tie. I mean, this is if you thought as women that you were already fighting against huge discrimination, huge biases, this technology is just you catapult this to massive scale. So it's very hard to fight those biases. Okay. In the session, we're gonna learn how to fight those biases. It's difficult. It's difficult. It's all, but it can be done. Okay. In the meantime, I ask about stakeholders that you should consider at European, at national level. So here it's saying the European Brain Council. And also I ask about the issues that these stakeholders usually engage in. I could go on and on. I could, for example, now that I have more information, I want to create a tailored message. Now, this tailored message is not the same message that we got in the first chat when I asked about writing a LinkedIn post. Now, because we have been training for 10 minutes, this chat knows you better and is going to give you way better content for your social media. I would still say that you are better at writing copies for social media than these machines are. But these machines can help you brainstorm. These machines can explain to you, can give you ideas. Okay, you can promote a newsletter. You can join us as a member. Maybe it gives you ideas for your Google Ads campaigns. And something that I always do, that I always ask junior people I work with, is to explain to me, and you can see here in the prompt, to explain to me why they made this decision. When you ask these machines to give you an explanation on why they made a certain decision, they give you better answers. It's like you're asking someone to, I'm gonna even go and say, we need to do A/B testing, but I want you to tell me why you chose this specifically test. What you want, what is it that you wanted to test? And when you do that, then you get way better content because you make these machines think harder in the same way that a junior comms officer would think. So now I don't have only one copy for my newsletter, I have 3. And it's telling me the first one, we are going to highlight the urgency of subscribing to the newsletter. The second one is going to emphasize a future-oriented vision. And the third one is going to be about empowerment and knowledge. Still, I think you would be better at creating this than these machines. And we could go on and on. In the course, we're going to train on how we're going to pick up an MEP that you are familiar with, that you know, and we're going to train a chat on how this MEP thinks, how this MEP, and then we're going to try, customize to the level of an MEP that you're dealing with. We're going to look at translation. And then the last bit is we're going to create an image for your campaign. And we're going to talk about how to create better images, how to create better videos. If you have the resources, you should have a graphic designer or a video editing on your payroll and give those the tools to do their work. But if you don't, like me, like us, and you need to create images for your newsletter or images for your social media, then this can do a little bit of a okay job, okay? So here we have an image, ignore the text, an image with diverse group of people, and that sort of represents the values that your organization, that it understands your organization has. And then you can make changes. You can say, okay, great. Now turn these individuals into Lego figures. And this is how I came up with all my...
Yeah. Sebastian, for example, can you prompt to add EMSP's logo now that